It's NFL mock draft season. So every year I like making one mock draft only. I'm someone who doesn't have a whole lot of knowledge in college football, so if I say something stupid or mispronounce a guy's name, that's just me being an idiot, and you're more than welcome to call me out on being an idiot. I welcome it. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Number one, I think I'm going to breeze right through this. This is going to be Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. He won the Heisman. It's all formality at this point. We know he's going to be in Vegas. I mean, even Kirk Cousins, the guy who just signed in Vegas, is saying how great of a teammate he thinks he's going to be. So, come on. It's going to be Mendoza. Moving on, at number two, now the Jets, I thought of a few different things. You know, they need edge really bad. They need a receiver really bad. However, I think I'm going to put them at taking Arvell Reese here. And I have them taking Arvell Reese because I think he's just I would I think he's the best player in this draft, personally. Maybe that's just me. I like Arvell Reese a lot. And so I think the Jets are I know there are other guys like David Bailey, Carnell Tate is available. I personally like Arvell Reese. I I like him a lot. I think the Jets are going to take him at number 2. Number 3, I have the Cardinals taking edge. They're going to take David Bailey. He is the edge out of Texas Tech. I like this guy. I think he has great hands, great playmaking ability, and I think he is going to be a force for any team that is lucky enough to take him. The Cardinals obviously need a quarterback, but with this, with the top quarterback being obvious, there isn't really a second or third quarterback that you're really looking at. And I could say the same thing with the Jets. At number 4, I have the Titans taking Carnell Tate. Last year, they took Cam Ward at number 1 overall. This year, they need to help him out. Calvin Ridley is not the same player he once was. He drops a lot of passes. They could take a running back. I wouldn't be surprised if they took Jeremiah Love here. That wouldn't shock me at all, actually. But I think they need a receiver more than they need a running back, if you ask me. Just because I think receivers are harder to find, and so why not take the best receiver in the draft at number 4? Number 5, I have the Giants taking Sonny Styles. The Giants, they need defense, they need a linebacker, so I think Sonny Styles fits the mold perfectly. Plus, I think he was just kind of destined to be a New York Giant, if you ask me. That's just me, though. But that's how I see it shaping out. At number 6, I have the Browns taking offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa. Again, if I mispronounce the name, please feel free to make fun of me. I'm all for it. The Browns, they need a tackle. Jedrick Wills has been okay, I guess. But they need a solidified option there. If you feel like a guy like Shedeur Sanders, or if you believe in Deshaun Watson for whatever reason, if you feel like one of those can be the franchise quarterback, then yeah, why wouldn't you want to protect him? At number 7, I was very conflicted on this pick. I thought about having the Commanders maybe trade down here, but I'm going to say they stick at number 7 and they take Jeremiah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame. The Commanders, they really need a running back. Their running game was terrible last year. I know everybody really liked Bill, but he didn't end up being that great. I think they need a running back. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe took a corner here, maybe traded down and took a defensive player. That wouldn't shock me. But I think they're going to take best player available. I think they're going to go Jeremiah Love at number 7. At number 8, this was another tough one. I thought maybe the Saints would trade down, but ultimately I had them just taking Ruben Bain Jr., the edge out of Miami. I I think with Ruben Bain, I think there are obviously some things that you should be concerned about, but I do like him as a player. And as I said, I've done very minimal research on these players. So again, if I say something stupid, blast me, please. But hey, I called it the worst mock draft for a reason. At number 9, I have the Chiefs. They're going to take Monroe Freeling. He's the offensive tackle out of Georgia. The Chiefs need tackle more than they need air to breathe. The Chiefs, I mean, look, if Jeremiah Love is still somehow available at 9, I would not be surprised if they took him. Or no, they got Kenneth Walker. So never mind. Scratch everything I just said. As I said, if I say something stupid, please blast me. But they need an offensive tackle more than they need water. They need it more than they need air to breathe. They need it bad. I think this just fits the mold. At number 10, I have the Bungles taking Caleb Downs. I think at this point he is probably the best player left on the board. They need defense so bad. Their defense is so bad. They need it so bad. And so I think Caleb Downs is going to at least help. You already have Dax Hill, who you took a couple years ago. I think Caleb Downs might be a good complement over there. Regardless, you need defense. Doesn't matter where you get it, but you need it. Number 11, I have the Dolphins taking Makai Lemon, receiver out of USC. I like this kid a lot. I think I like him a lot. I think he's going to fit like a glove in the Dolphins' new system. And obviously, you traded away Jalen Waddle, so you added a need at receiver. So why not take one in 11 overall and get one of the best receivers in the draft in Makai Lemon? I like him a lot. Number 12, I have the Dallas Cowboys taking Jerron McCoy. I don't know a whole lot about this guy, I'm going to be honest. He's the cornerback out of Tennessee. I think, however, the Dallas Cowboys really need a corner. Obviously, you let go of Diggs, and now you don't really have a corner. So the Cowboys need a corner, and I think they're just going to take the best corner off the board at 12. And number 13, I've seen a lot of people saying that the Rams are going to take a receiver. I don't really know why they would take a receiver here. They have Adams, they have Puka. I don't think either of them are going anywhere. I think they're going to take a tackle. I think they're going to take Spencer Fano, left tackle out of Utah. And I like him. He's a big dude. I think he has enough finesse. And I think in the Rams, being coached by Sean McVay, I think that is a perfect place for him to go. Then again, I think if you're getting coached by Sean McVay, I think anywhere would be a good place for you to go. But still, I think the Rams could use an offensive tackle. Because at this point, Matt Stafford, he's not going to be evading very much pressure at this point in his career. So he needs some protection. Number 14, the Ravens. I have them taking Mansour Delane. Not sure if I said that right. He's the cornerback. He's a cornerback out of LSU. Ravens, they tend to just draft best player available. I don't think it'll be any different here. That's typically what they've done for the past however long now. And I think they'll continue to do that here. Number 15, I think this pick just screams Buccaneers. Kenyon Sadiq. He is the tight end out of, I think, Oregon? Yeah, Oregon. Right? Yeah, Oregon. He's the tight end out of Oregon. I think this guy screams Buccaneer. I think he's 6'3", like 240 some pounds. He's really big. And I just saw the cutest thing ever. My cat is laying on the floor with her stomach up, and I love that. I'm getting off track. The Buccaneers, I think, could use a tight end. I think an extra pass catcher might help, especially after Mike Evans departed for San Francisco. I think they could use another pass catcher. Number 15, I have the Jets taking Jordan Tyson. He is the receiver. And the Jets, look, when your number one receiver only plays half the season, and he is still the number one leading receiver in receiving yards on your team, yes, I know the quarterback situation was really bad, but when that's the case, you need a receiver more than you need air. So I think the Jets should realistically take a receiver. If they don't take Carnell Tate at 2, they should certainly take a receiver at 16. Number 17, the next couple picks I think are going to be rather boring. I have Caleb Lamu going to the Lions. Uh, they need a tackle really bad. Their offensive line was not great last year. It just makes sense. Number 18, I have the Vikings taking Dylan Thieneman. He's a safety out of Oregon. Harrison Smith, I think, has retired. If not, he's definitely old and he's going to very soon. And they need a safety pretty bad to fill that hole. Now, at 19, this is where things get funky. I have the Bears trading up with the Panthers, and they're going to take an edge, Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. I'm looking at my list. They need defense really bad. Their defense was really bad. Caleb Williams really helped that team win a lot more games than they probably should have last year. I mean, they gave up 28 points to Mason Rudolph, for crying out loud. They need defense, and I think Keldrick Falk is going to help a lot. So yeah, give me the Bears taking Keldrick Falk, trading up to do so at 19. The 49ers are also trading up. They're trading up with, I think, no. They're trading up with the Cowboys here because this was the Packers' pick. They're trading up with the Cowboys, and they're going to take offensive tackle Caden Proctor, moving ahead of the Steelers to do so. Look, Trent Williams, terrific offensive lineman, but he is old. I think he's 39 right now. He's not getting any younger. He doesn't have a whole lot left in the tank, I would imagine. And so they're trying to prepare for that need before it gets that time. Plus, I think there are contract disputes over there right now, so I think just them taking an offensive lineman makes sense here. Number 21, I have the Steelers taking the guard out of Penn State. I'm not even going to try to say his name, I'm going to be honest. But look, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this pick, just simply because I don't know if the Steelers are even going to take an offensive lineman. That, yes, it is true that they need a guard. They lost Sumalo in free agency, and they didn't really do a whole lot to replace it. Yes, they need a guard. However, they've gone in the trenches the past 3 drafts, and I feel like they might want to look elsewhere. Obviously, quarterback is still a major question mark. You don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back or not. You need a linebacker. You still need a bunch of positions on this team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go elsewhere. Maybe they just sit back, take best player available. They have a lot of draft capital to work with. Maybe they trade up. I don't know what to expect from the Steelers. I think they are one of the biggest wild cards in this draft for that reason. At number 22, I have the Patriots trading up with the Chargers to get the wide receiver out of Indiana, Omar Cooper Jr. Patriots need a receiver. They lost Diggs, but they got Dobbs, but you still need a receiver. You still need a bona fide number 1 receiver. So, trade up in front of the Browns and the Eagles, who might be in the market for a receiver. Browns certainly should be. The Eagles, maybe. I think it makes sense on everyone's behalf. At number 23, I have the Eagles taking offensive tackle out of Clemson, Blake Miller. Lane Johnson, he's getting a bit long in the tooth. We'll see if he stays around a bit longer. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I think offensive tackle is a bit of a need. Number 24, I have the Browns taking Casey Concepcion I think that's how you say his name, the receiver out of Texas A&M. As I mentioned just prior, they need a receiver and they need it bad. You can't go into next season with Jerry Jeudy as your number one receiver. That did not work out. Number 25, of course, the Panthers traded down earlier. They're going to take Colton Hood. I think they need a safety more, but I think that they understand that there aren't a whole lot of great safeties available at this point, at least for this current value. So I think they'll just take another cornerback to pair with J.C. Horn. Number 27, or sorry, at 26 rather, I have the Buffalo Bills taking Akeem Mesidor. I think that's how you say his name, the edge out of Miami. They could use an edge. They don't have a ton there right now. I think it makes sense. Number 27, I have the Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to take an offensive tackle because you can never have enough of those. I don't know. This pick I had a lot of problems with deciding because I don't think the Cowboys would really want to trade down again. But maybe if the price was right, they might do it. So I don't know what to expect from the Cowboys if this were to happen. Number 28, I had the Texans going defensive tackle Peter Woods out of Clemson. That defensive line, particularly Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, excellent. However, I think you could use another force up the middle. Maybe that's just me, but I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the Texans go defensive tackle here and make a strength even stronger. At number 29, I have the Chiefs taking Brandon Cease. I think that's how you say his name. He's the cornerback out of South Carolina. The Chiefs traded all their cornerbacks. They don't have a cornerback right now. They need one bad. Take one here at 29 in the first round. Number 30, the Dolphins, they also need a cornerback. Really bad. They're going to take Avian Terrell. They're going to reach a bit, but they're going to say, hey, this is worth it. We need a corner, and he's going to fit our system, and he's going to do great here. Number 31, I have the Chargers taking the defensive tackle out of Ohio State, Caden McDonald. Again, similar situation to the Texans, except I think defensive tackle is a much more pressing need for the Chargers than it is for the Texans. But we've seen how the Chargers like to operate. I would say they should probably work on the offensive line, and although I don't totally disagree, I do, however, think that this is one of those cases where I think the Chargers want to build to their strengths. And at 32, I think the Seahawks are probably just going to go best player available. They obviously don't need anything. I don't think they really want to take a running back this early, especially one that isn't rated until like midway through the second round. They're going to go Christian Miller, defensive tackle out of Georgia. And that's it. That's it for the worst mock draft you've ever seen in 2026. I will be attending the draft. I will make videos when I get back from the draft, giving my reaction to every pick. But yeah, I'll be at the draft, so I won't be able to record any long form videos. So I apologize in advance. I'm trying to get a few done before I leave. But yeah, that's I guess it for this one. Have a great day.